All right, guys, what we have here is one more folder structure capability of model accuracy. So what we'll discuss is before we would tell model accuracy a particular file where all the GRIBs are, but here we have a folder structuring capability. And this was asked for by a lot of our top users after the last Sydney Hobart race. And this is helpful because it can outline the name of the folder is the name that all of the GRIB files of that folder will be competing under. So right here we have a folder called the Miller Lite GFS, and in that folder is all these GFS GRIB files. It's going to compare all those GFS GRIB files under the full name Miller Lite GFS. The Navy COAMPS folder is going to have all of these COAMPS files there. And remember, this is handy because you may get a naming structure that's similar. For example, predict wind, but predict wind puts the resolution within the file name. So you could create a predict wind file folder and then have a lot of predict wind files in there of different resolutions where their names are slightly different, but you want them all scored under that individual folder name. So the not really that good navgem never does that well. All of those GRIBs are right in there. And that's all under that file up here in the top right. So we're going to tell model accuracy to only look at that file, and it's going to score all those GRIBs in that same capacity. So let's make a new one real quick. We'll call it folder structure. We're going to use the expedition format because that's the GRIBs that we have. Our log files are on the desktop. We're going to go log file, select. Then we're going to click our GRIB file directory, and this is important. We're not going to go into the folder. We know that those 4 subfolders are there. We're going to click on just the top folder that has all those other 4 folders in it. Okay, that boat was in magnetic. Those GRIB files, those log files are in magnetic. We have a 33-meter mast, and we're going to go ahead and click prepare data, and it's going to find that boat data, and we'll see the scoring here real quick. We'll set up the analysis components, and this is really handy when you have a GRIB source but with varying resolutions, and because model accuracy would use the naming structure to create its own GRIB source, but here we just put everything in that folder, and there's nothing else you need to select. Model accuracy will figure that out on its own, but I find it really quite handy for post-race review and also on the water review while you're actually racing. And you can see even down here, it's preparing the Navy COAMPS, the penny stocks, the not really that good navgem. It's looking at those folders regardless of the individual names of the GRIB files within that folder. So it's really quite handy. And we're almost done here. And then we'll show how even the names on the graphical plots are of that exact folder directory name. So we're almost done here. We'll go through the all GRIB runs, and we'll use this in just a second. Oh, there's one file in there that it does not like. Okay, it doesn't like the February 28th 0Z GRIB. That's important to know. Okay, we'll click all use. We'll use its recommended. We'll do an analysis granularity of only 5 minutes, so it goes a little bit quicker. We won't do the barometric pressure. We'll take the plots. We'll save it just in case. I like to save the settings whenever I can. That locks all these selections under that folder structure name, and analyze. We'll see what starts to pop up here. And look at that. It's even saying the Miller Lite GFS. That's how it's viewing that folder. The plots are coming up, and we can see that it even named it a little bit differently. So the Miller Lite GFS is the gray line. We can see that plotted right in here. That Navy COAMPS is the blue. You can see that just the same on what it is. And it's taken the whole name of that directory folder. So really quite handy. All the names are up there, just as if those GRIBs were open, and it scored them on that same folder directory name. So 5.3 our best. It's still like the GFS just the same because that's only GFS in there, but you could have even put a COAMPS GRIB file in this Miller Lite GFS folder, and it would have scored all of those GRIBs as though they were a GFS Miller Lite GRIB. So the naming structure helps you with resolution and different names of the files within that GRIB folder.